Property managers face daily pressures that challenge their efficiency, constant time constraints that demand swift decision-making and multitasking, while rising cost of compliance demands add additional layers of complexity. A major issue is the inefficiency of manual data entry, especially when it comes down to utility connections, which is both time-consuming and risks of referrals not being supplied to their connection supplier. These repetitive tasks often hinder productivity and increase those mistakes, often when landlords receive water bills in their name because they haven't been transferred over to the renter's name. However, integrated solutions can help alleviate these challenges by automating processes, reducing manual work, and ensuring compliance is met more effectively. With streamlined workflows within the Inspection Express journey, PMs can focus on higher value tasks, leading to better outcomes through a digital marketplace and automated referral. Key pain points in utility connections often include confusion around energy plans, where tenants struggle to understand default pricing versus market offers, and unclear guidance on setting up services. These issues lead to frustration and inefficiency. There are an important difference between the two, because it impacts how much the tenant pays for their electricity and gas. A default offer is a government-based reference price where there is no discounts on energy plans that are sold by the energy retailer. This could cost the tenant hundreds of dollars per year in comparison to a market offer, which will contain discounts off the default offer. Another item to note is the bundling of services can significantly improve the tenant's experience and how much they pay for their internet. By offering transparent options and clear instructions, tenants can make informed decisions. The bundling of services can attract discounts depending on promotions in the market of up to $10 to $15 per month, how much a tenant pays on their internet bill. The current utility setup process often falls short due to the lack of clear communication and inefficient manual processes. This can cause delays and confusion for both tenants and property managers. Proactive communication from property managers, along with tech-driven integrations, can streamline the process, making transitions smoother and more efficient. In the upcoming webinar, we'll demonstrate how the integration between Inspection Express and Movinghub simplifies utility management, enhancing both tenant experience and operational efficiency.
So you can see my screen here. I've got up my lease. So this is from my Inspection Express portal. I've completed my lease here for this particular property. This is from my property management portal. So I can see here down the bottom, I've got the option to see a utility connection referrer. Kris, explain to me what this means for the Movinghub side of things.
So what that does, so the way our system works, it allows, for example, a head of PM or a director to have access to our system to track referrals.
Mm-hmm.
What this piece does here is in that drop-down list, it will allow you to select who the PM is, and that is linked to our system. So we'll know when we call that tenant, we would say that, you know, Matisse Bracken has asked us to give you a call,
mm-hmm.
and that's purely from the integration that we've got from your platform. That can be different. So if you click on that drop-down box, you can actually change the referring agent from the person logged in to someone else, and that allows us to be able to track that information in our system. And also, once the referral comes through, that referrer there will be able to see their referral come through and
mm-hmm.
the live status in our system as well as yours.
Beautiful. So, for example, if you've got VAs or you've got admin users within your account, if I'm an admin user, I can select on which property manager I want this referral to be linked to. That's just found within the workflow when you are creating a new management. Once I'm happy with that, that's pretty much the only thing that I need to do. Then I click on send and send this off for signing. So this is an example of what that's going to look like for my renter. They will then click on this to review and sign the residential rental agreement. Once they click on this, The only thing they really have to do is they're going to scroll through and read all of the agreement, and they are going to either click on I'm interested in the connection of utilities and services to help with my move. This is what it's going to look like for the tenant in the lease. So they can click on that I'm interested, and that will give consent to be contacted by Movinghub. They can obviously click on not interested, just connect the water service. But once they click on this, that gives creates an
application in Movinghub system, and that referring agent that we pointed to earlier, the referrer will also see that referral.
Cool.
And then the tenant will see a live screen in their browser. So what happens is the agreement gets signed, and the browser will change within the Inspection Express platform, and the tenant will see this screen here.
Yeah, so once they have selected that, they've gone through and signed digitally in their Inspection Express, portal. This is what they will see once they've signed their residential tenant agreement.
And then what this does is it allows the tenant to then self-serve. So they'll be able to see all plans, all pricing. They can click on, if you click on details there, Matisse, on that black button there, it actually pops up with the pricing, the fact sheet, or the compliance, the rates from a supply charge and a usage charge. Now, every retailer has different pricing depending on where you live and the type of meter that you have. So as you can see, the panel's pretty broad. The clients can go through, they can see what offers are there, what the discounts are.
And you can see it's not just not just electricity, gas and water. We've got
removals,
health insurance, removals, cleaning, solar.
Correct. So again, the tenant can choose what they want now. They might decide in a couple of months' time that they want something else, then they can always come back and revert back. And because the client was originated from the real estate agent, it's fully tracked. So any rewards that Movinghub have with the agent or the PM, then any future services that come through will get tracked back to the original referrer. So there's
beautiful
all transparency through the platform. Any services taken pre or beyond the actual initial transaction is full there. So if the client selects one of those plans, Matisse, they'll go through and be asked specific questions. Every provider we work with will have a certain set of questions. If they select Energy Company 1 versus Energy Company 2, some questions may be the same, like driver's license and requiring life support and things like that. But anything else outside of that will be a question. Like, for example, if they're moving and they want a removalist, when's a good time to call? And things like that. So anything that they pick is all generic and specific to the actual provider they chose. And then once they self-serve through that journey, the referral or the actual sale in this example, because the client will consent to fulfilling all those services, will end up in our support team for verification or compliance. And then the client's data will be sent through as requested by them to the relevant suppliers that they've chosen, or alternatively they can receive a phone call and we'll go through that process online and support them verbally over the phone.
Beautiful. And if we've got an account that uses Inspection Express and wants to get started with Movinghub and integrate it, how do they go about
so they can either communicate to the Movinghub sales team, which will obviously include myself and the sales team behind the scenes, Sam and Alex, but also anyone at Inspection Express. So if you've got a contact, whether it's Jeremiah or yourself, you can reach out and then they can actually activate your Movinghub account in the background. So there's no need to do, fill in forms or anything like that. It's all activated through the back end via an API. And then once you're live, you can literally have your tenants access this process in real time. And once you have first lease, the tenant experiences, you'll see exactly what was on screen a short time ago.
And it's as simple as what I just showed you there. It's literally a button that you're clicking and ticking on your rental agreement, and it's the same for the tenant experience as well. It's really seamless, really easy to use. So we've got something for the first two people.
We do.
If you want to explain that.
So I mentioned earlier about a couple of prizes. So for the first two individuals, different businesses who are on the webinar today, who would like to activate their Movinghub and Inspection Express integration to make your life more seamless and simple and less data entry or no data entry, and your tenant experience to be able to self-serve after they've signed their lease or go through the Movinghub experience. We are based in Melbourne, so all the phone calls do get made out of Melbourne, out of our Docklands call centre. you'll receive a $100 voucher each. So the first 2 who put their hands up, whether it's today, tomorrow, reach out to the Movinghub team and the Inspection Express team.
Yep.
We'll communicate, and for the first 2, they'll receive
first 2
voucher.
that let us know they're happy to get it all started with the integration between Inspection Express and Movinghub.
Yep.
They'll get those $100 vouchers. So yeah, let your account manager know, whether that's myself or Jeremiah or one of the other account managers within the team, or someone from support at Inspection Express, and we can get that switched on for you pretty much straight away. It's really nice and simple, and yeah, we'll get that all across to you. So yeah, is there anything else that you would like to touch on before we move to questions in regards to what Movinghub can do for
Yeah, we can do a lot more.
Yeah.
I think we don't have the bandwidth of time to go through everything that Movinghub does from a technology perspective.
Yeah.
We have revolutionized this home move experience through, again, processes like this and the relationship that we've got with Inspection Express. But there's so many products that we've built over the years. We are a tech business like yourselves, and we're always innovating to be able to make sure that the PM's experience, but also the tenant experience is seamless through different products in market, such as our Home Hub product. But again, I'd need a lot more time to run through every single piece of technology that's in market that we've got.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, well, I really appreciate everyone who's joined on today. I'm more than happy to open it up to some questions on, I guess, how the integration works. If you have any specific questions for myself or for Kris in terms of the Movinghub integration, how it would go ahead. Any questions that you would like answered at all. So just pop that in the question box, and we can have a look at that there. Let's see.
I think one of the questions come through is, are we based in New Zealand, or is the integration live in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Movinghub does operate in New Zealand, but the integration is specific to Australia only at the current.
Yeah, and same as Inspection Express, we're both based in Melbourne, but Inspection Express services all of Australia, New Zealand, and also the US now as well. So hopefully that answers that question there. Let's see. Let's see if there's any other questions. Pop them in if you do have anything at all into that question box section. We've got time for a couple other questions. So we've got a good question here from Sharon. We have Movinghub linked with Property Me. How do we integrate Movinghub into our Inspection Express?
Yep. So
awesome.
Good question. The first thing you need to do is reach out to the Movinghub team, whether it's Sam or Alex or myself, and let them know that you'd like to integrate the Inspection Express experience. What we'd need to do is we'd need to turn off the Property Me integration if that's your preference. Otherwise, the data would come through twice, and we don't want your tenant receiving 2 sets of emails. So would turn off Property Me in this example, and we would turn on Inspection Express.
Yeah, and that gets turned on pretty seamlessly from us. So yeah, we would work together and get that one switched on for you. That's pretty straightforward. So reach out to Movinghub for that one and get that all sorted. Any other questions at all? Good question. We've got one from Jonathan. Does Movinghub offer the same range of services in New Zealand?
Yes.
Good question.
Yeah. So we probably not as deep as in terms of number of services that you just went through there, but there is the core services, the removalists, the internet, the electricity, the gas, temp holding accounts as well in New Zealand. So if you need any more information around Movinghub in New Zealand and the marketplace, then absolutely feel free to reach out to the team, myself. Obviously, there's Jess, who looks after the New Zealand business, but I'll work closely with the SaaS team over there.
Yeah, beautiful. We might have time for 1 or 2 more questions if anyone has any others. Perfect. Thanks, Jonathan.
those in New Zealand, obviously Taylor and Abby are on the ground in New Zealand. So if there's anyone who knows Abby and Taylor, feel free to reach out any questions, and they can circle back to me if there's anything specific about the opportunities.
Yeah. Or if anyone in New Zealand as well, your account manager would be Jeremiah. So feel free to reach out to him. Just let him know if you want to get this switched on, and we will just get it switched on for you guys. There's obviously no additional fees or anything like that. Getting it integrated, it's very straightforward from our side of things. So yeah, if we have any other questions, pop them in now. But if not, feel free to get in touch with Kris. We will send you some of Kris's contact details and Inspection Express's contact details if you did want to get started or have any additional questions at all. But yeah, it's been really insightful to hear, I guess, how Movinghub is making the process easier for property managers. As I said before, I think if anyone needs a bit of streamlining and help in speeding up their processes, it's going to be property managers. So anything that makes property managers' lives a bit easier is going to make everyone else happier. So yeah, thank you for coming on today, Kris, and thanks for hopping on, anyone that's joined us today, and we'll send you some further info and contact details after this.
Thanks, Matisse. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance.